Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the um, webinar, which we are saying, hey, it's kind of a fight between GEO and SEO. We are saying it's versus. So let's start with that. But before that, let me just introduce myself. So my name is Puneet. I'm head of marketing here, and we have been experimenting a lot, seeing various changes happening in the digital space. So all that learning which we have currently, of course, experiments mostly, and some success stories. So we are going to discuss a few learnings with you guys, and also answer any of your questions, though we are also experimenting and learning together. So um, some of our responses might not be true in today's age, or if they are true, may not be feasible in the next few weeks because the way things are changing. Anyways, so let's start with that, and let's start with this term called GEO and SEO, and how we can help you have better visibility on AI, because nowadays people like me, at least, we are not on Google anymore. So we are there on AI platforms, and that's where we need to see all the brands or most of the websites who really want to drive online users, want to sell online. They need to be AI ready, we would say, right? So let's start with the reality check. And this is the number. I can say 1 in 5 shoppers now use AI um, to find products. Now, here is a key difference. If you see, they are finding products on Google, but they are not finding products. They are not really searching where they should buy. They are actually their queries are different. So now people's behavior on AI is completely different versus Google. So now you can actually see yourself. So when you search something on Google, you type a different query versus when you search on AI. So this is a key factor which we need to consider in today's conversation, that the queries are different. Okay, so we have given an example here. When somebody is searching on ChatGPT, they are searching a specific thing, um, versus when a buyer searches on Perplexity. Of course, their behaviors are a bit different, versus when they are searching on Google, mostly searching on, okay, where to buy wireless earbuds for cheap, or at certain price or whatever, right? So that's the query shift we are seeing, where people are moving from where to what exactly. So we'll cover that in the coming slides. So what we are covering today is how AI driven product queries are shifting, and various other things which can impact your website, from product pages to category pages. What all things you should really be focusing on, whether you are a technical person or not, but these things are important. And then we would have a 4-phase implementation roadmap for you, which, of course, that's the takeaway of this webinar, where you can see all those things happening. Maybe you can just have another couple of hours for your business in a silent room and try all those things and see how things change for your business, right? So we'll continue with that. Now, what AI is shifting, AI search shift, which I mentioned briefly, the what was happening, what people were searching earlier. So that's completely changed now, right? And this matters a lot at this point in time, since a lot of shoppers have moved to that level where they have changed their behavior completely. So this is what I was talking about. A few examples. What people were searching on Google is actually different from what they're searching on AI. So it's a complete shift of from where to buy. Now they are asking what to buy. And that's where AI is helping as a guide. So this is another word which we need to um, take from uh, this conversation or this webinar today. Guide. So AI is now acting as guide to people, and in fact, it's not just recommending items; it's selling as well. So we'll cover that part as well um, in the coming slides. Um, Now, moving to the next part is what sort of queries are there? What queries are being triggered as AI results? So here are a few examples. People are asking the questions which can help them make their decisions better. They are directly going for best, so they are not really comparing. I would say, okay, out of this and this, which one is better? No, we know the category. This is what I want to buy. Tell me the best thing I should buy, right? So that's the first query we see here. Another major part is the problem solving. So they are trying something, it's not working. So they are trying to get more responses from AI because they don't have to research anymore, right? AI has already done that job for them. And this is what another part which AI is helping people is with the research. So best or problem solving is all part of research. And that's what we as business owners of these of our websites, we need to solve that problem, right? So once we have those problems understood, then only we can solve that. So this is what we have a few more examples. Like what exactly do people ask the questions? I mean, how to choose an espresso machine. It's so any product where people have lack of manuals, or they know what the result it would be if we use this versus that. Those kind of opinions people are asking to AI. And that's where, if your business product is in that kind of vulnerability, I would say this is for you: how to write the content, how to address all these issues in AI. So whenever I'm taking an example here, you can actually consider an example for your business and certain product, and see whether your product fits in this kind of bucket or not, right? So that's an important part. So AI is it's pretty simple. So they're saying, give me the details, what do you want to show it to the users. I will keep the research with me, and then we will we'll start delivering. So in this today's webinar, we are going to have an exercise where in your business, whether you have one product, 10 products, 100 products, whatever you have in collections. So just pick top 5, 6, 10 products from your website and type that query in any of these AI platforms, whatever you use, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or anything, and ask the question, okay, related to, for example, best coffee machine for morning coffees or something like that, right? Or best resistance bands for home workout. So if that's your product, if that's not, you can relate your query, so what people are searching, and just type that query into ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, and see what all different websites are being cited over there. Are they your competitors? They may or may not. But that information or that response from AI would give you many answers. It would tell you, okay, what all other websites are doing different than your website, why your website is not being cited by AI on AI platforms, right? So all these things, we need to see what's happening there, and from there we would take the learning home. Okay, this is the first step. It's done. Now, Once we see all that, um, we searched that, we did not find our product there, or we did not find our websites or web page cited over there. Now we need to see why it's invisible, right? And that is an important part of this, why this is invisible. So if this is invisible on AI, primary reason is the fault is not your product. Your product is not wrong. The way you are presenting your product on your website needs to be improved. And that's the main factor of it, right? So um, you might be writing all the things perfectly fine on your website or web page or product page, but you are still missing something which AI definitely needs it, right? So those things we would cover in the coming slides. And now we will start with the gaps. So now we understood, we searched the product, we did not find our product. Now there are five primary reasons you're being left out. So entity clarity is the major one. Relationship signals on your site is another one, and trust markers is the third important one, I would say. But there are definitely five. So there are attribute structures. Attribute structures is, I would say, the critical one. They are important, but they are definitely critical. And relationship signals is, of course, is important one. Trust markers are important one. So out of all these fives, if I say, the critical is the second one, which is attribute structure. Okay, so we would spend a little bit time on that as well, the attribute structure. Now moving to how to fix those problems if we are not visible on AI. What's wrong with our website? We found these five gaps. Out of these five gaps, let's start with something and let's fix the problem. So let's fix the problem with the product page first, because our product page in e-commerce is the important thing. We would like people to come on our product page directly, make a decision quickly, make a purchase, go away, and we make money. That's what the whole idea is. Rather than we take the users on a different page and then give the routing and some internal linking and then give a flow to the users. Okay, it's better to optimize your product page, and that's what we should do. Now, run this checklist on your website and see what all details are missing on your product page. Is title there? So, okay, let me just clarify one more thing here. Now, you might be seeing there are a lot of things I would be talking about a regular SEO, and we are discussing about mostly SEO, but then we are naming it GEO. Let me just have a little bit of clarity here. Now, there are three terms in the market. One is SEO, which is, of course, a traditional term, search engine optimization. We all know that. There was another term when Google upgraded that by responding to queries or adding another features on the search, like people also ask and all that stuff. We marketers were naming it as AEO, which is answer engine optimization. And then now the advanced feature where people are not going to Google, they're directly going to their AI platform and asking the question. We are naming it as GEO. So all these three terms are not against each other. They are actually complementing each other. So SEO is always the foundation. So if I talk about this checklist here on the screen, mostly all the checklist for a good SEO website is already done. So your title should be good, of course, checked. Your description is there, detailed, checked. Your structured data on the page, HTML, checked. All those things, if it's checked, okay, basic foundation SEO is done. Now, the AEO and GEO, where we are talking about mostly AI visibility, the difference comes is what to look for, what exactly you should be adding in the title. Okay, so there should be differences between SEO and GEO because people's behavior are different, as we discussed. So from this checklist, okay, let's go back to the topic. Now, this checklist has title, description, specs, Product schema, FAQ, all these things are checked on our website. If there are anything is missing, we need to fix that. So we'll cover that in the coming slides. But to start with, let's go with this for the product page. Now, there are collection pages. So you might have thousands of products, and you don't want to drive people or get people onto your product pages because they may have to make certain decisions. Okay, which size to buy, which size fits right for my room dimension and all that stuff. Then you land them on collection page. What's there on collection page? There can be a standard things on the collection page. Are we really talking about the simple product grid over there with the filters so that people can apply their searches and done? That's good for users, but not for AI. If you want your collections page to be ranked on AI, you need to give it some information. Okay, so this is a checklist for that, where you need to see the FAQ sections are there or not. I will cover that FAQ section. This is a pretty important part. And then collection page would have the list schema. So all those elements which are needed for your HTML as a structured data is definitely needed. So, okay, now I said another term, which is structured data. Structured data was not so important earlier during SEO age. It was good to have, but it was not so important. But then when AEO came in last a couple of years ago, yes, it started getting an importance. And with GEO, it is much more important now. So with structured data, we would have different type of schemas. So this is what we would have on almost every page of your website. Different type of schemas. You talk about organization schema, you talk about product schema, FAQ schema, and so on. All these are important because AI engines do not like just going and reading the content. It reads the content in a specific format, and also it reads the content with specific signals. So if the content is written, you say that, hey, I'm answering all the questions on my product page or collections page, if people are asking. But if it's not in the FAQ section or FAQ schema, AI might be ignoring it. And that's where we are losing. So saying another word here, structured data schema is definitely important. There will be many schemas which we will cover here. Okay, so once we have that, we do have the catalog level, and we can checklist. We can check the details on the catalog level. Okay, what is a again here also you would see schema. There is another kind of schema which is breadcrumb schema. So ensure that the schema is an important word which we need to carry for this GEO stuff, right? So I know at this point in time, you might have some questions, but yes, whatever questions you have, maybe you can just type in here in the chat. I will pick it up at the end of this session, and then we can have, if any discussion is required or any more details required, I'll discuss that there, right? So let's talk about catalog level. Of course, there is another checklist for that. Now, this is another interesting part, which is we know about, hey, we found I have titles on my product page. What's wrong with that? I have description on my product page. What's wrong with that? So your checklist was okay. You have title and description, but that's not the title and description what AI needs. So here are a few examples. So if you have a particular product and you say, hey, this is a product name mentioned in the title, and you expect the AI to understand that, pick that up, and show it to AI users, no, it will not happen. So this is where we need to utilize all these features available with us, whether it's a title, description, it's all in the meta form, and different structured data to show our content or to present our content to AIs. So for that, I can give you a simple formula where you can just write your own product title starting with the brand name, the product type, key differentiator that is needed. I'll just cover that in the coming slides, and the use case signal. Okay. So if we read first example, Aerolite is a brand, carry on spinner, product type, lightweight hard shell, differentiator for frequent flyers. Now, AI needs all this information, processes it, and keeps that in a research bucket. If any frequent flyer would ask a specific question related to this product, AI would have quick answer, right? This is how we differentiate on product page, title, and descriptions, right? So this is how you need to read. Okay, checklist is done. Now we have corrected this as a first step on the product page. Perfect, right? Here we do have a little bit more information on the product page, how you describe your product. That's also very important for AI. So in the previous slide, we covered title and description, which is the basic information of the page. But then in this one, we are covering the details of how AI is reading and what should be covered here. Now, again, I have added schema here. Schema is, again, an important part for every page I'm saying. So here you will have 2 or 3 different type of schemas on this particular page. You will have product schema, which is a must have for an AI. So if you do not have product schema and you just upload the product and the details over there on the page, AI would read that as a general text. It would not consider that as a product which you are selling. Okay, so we need to create a differentiator there in terms of presenting the product to AI. And then at the same time, we should have, if any offers or price, that schema should also be included, maybe some part of product schema or can be added as additional schema. If you have offers maybe running over the weekends on certain products, you can have that schema as well so that AI can keep that information for the research purposes. And whenever, let's say, if I'm asking a question, hey, when are the good deals on XYZ brand AirPods, for example? Um, Based on all this data, all this schema data read by AI from different platforms, it can have the answer ready and it will give me the answer. Hey, I think Friday evening between 7 to 9, you should visit these 5 websites, you would get the best price, right? So this example says why these schemas are important for AI research. All right. So we'll move forward on the collection page fixes. So now we found that uh, checklist has collection page also. We saw the title, description, and everything. Now here is another part. Um, on the collection page, we think that, okay, we have given the products, we have given the filters, user can use it. That's perfectly fine for users, but AI cannot use it. So we need to give the specific information to AI with the top section on the website where we can just say a brief intro about what this page is all about, what this collection is all about. And this does not work. I mean, a disclaimer, this does not work on some websites who say that, hey, collections, all products, 5, 7 different categories in all collection or all products page. This would not work on that. So you need to specify collection based on the category you sell. They should be related. And based on that, you create a separate page if it's not there, and then start writing content, give a tabular information, the product name, capacity, material, anything related to your category or your business. You need to include that. And then at the end, there should be FAQ so that Google or any of the AI engines can read it and just understand that for their research purpose. Okay, what is it talking about? Or you're selling this particular category in your collections page. That's fine. And are you writing the FAQs based on that? This is an important factor, right? So now I'll probably explain you in the coming slides how to write an effective FAQ. Um, so there are different content formats. In what format we need to write your queries, right? So these are important things. Buying guide, we saw that in the initial slides. That's important because that's what people are using AI for. Comparing the products, somewhat yes. If there are competition, let's say, for example, laptop, this model versus that model, it's so you have already shortlisted the products, but then you want AI's help to have the comparison table. Similarly, you can think of your products, what people would be comparing those products with, and if you have those that information, show that information and try to use all these superlative degrees like best in the world and all that stuff, because AI considers that also into its research, that okay, you are talking about your product best, and then it would probably validate from different sources, from other websites or forums or discussion points. And if it found on a few places, it found that your product is best, or a lot of people are talking about it, from reviews schema it would find the information, then it would definitely give you a good citation and a mention in the prompts, and that's what we need, right? So all those things, from um, what type of information we should write, that is important here. Okay. Now, this is where I raised a little bit of, I touched base a bit about linking. So when you have a collection page, you are having all the products listed over there, and those products would have internal links of different products also. That's actually important. So it was important even during SEO age as well. Why I'm saying SEO age, it's not too old though, but um, so when a crawler or any AI bot comes to your website, it keeps on finding new pages from one page. So it moves from one page to another, another to another, and so on. So that's why internal linking and relationship building is pretty important here. So it creates its own set of instructions, that okay, this particular product, let's say a Reebok runner's shoe, for example, that falls under which category. So it sees that information, any relationship to runner shoes on that website would create a relationship between those products, and that's what internal linking helps AI. All right. So this is what internal linking covers. Now the confusion comes. Okay, I'm using different platforms like Shopify. I'm using .NET, or I'm using Magento, or etc. So whatever you use, whatever I said about schemas, they are important in every platform, and every platform would have different way or different tools to apply the schemas. So for example, Shopify would have smart SEO, or other few tools where you can apply the schemas. BigCommerce has its own native stencil support. So all those things you need to consider based on whatever website you have, or type of platform, sorry, you are using. And based on that, maybe you can talk to your developer if you do not have any technical expertise on that platform, or development agency, and they can help you with this. So this is an important part. Please do not miss it. Your platform, whatever your platform is, we need schemas on that in a different way, in one or the other way, right? Now, why AI should choose you? This is an important factor. So now we fixed all the technical stuff. We saw the page. We did a bit of research. We saw our pages, and then we reviewed our product titles, collection pages, schemas are fixed. Everything is done from our side. Okay. Now, why AI should choose you? This is an important factor. The relevance, right? So does your page actually answer something? That's where it relates. It has relevancy in it, right? And the structure, again, which format you're talking about, whether you're answering a question or you're detailing a product or you're detailing an offer, all those things in a structure one. And then authority. So authority is a thing which often brands miss, that hey, we have done everything on our website. Now our website is perfect for AI. Why AI or uh, Google is not improving our rankings? So this is where authority comes in. AI would identify your product as best, better, or can do comparison or can recommend your product to the users based on your product's brand authority. So authority comes from how many people are talking about you on the web. And that is not on your website. It should be on the third party website. That is important from authority point of view. Press releases, if you normally launch something every quarter or every 6 months, you can have your press releases um, there in the digital platform, which AI kind of loves it. So any platform where people are asking questions, answering questions, where any new information is getting updated, whether it's a news website or it's um, other PR website, yes, AI loves it. So if your brand is not visible on those kind of platforms, you can expect that hey, AI would consider you less authoritative versus your competitor, whoever is getting visibility on AI, right? So that's an important factor. Do not miss that. And then freshness, yes, it definitely does. So for example, anything is was happening in 25 versus happening in 26, it works a lot because AI or even users love the freshness. I would say, okay, is there any latest launches from Apple in this year? That's a freshness. Anything related to your product, just think of those queries, what people might be searching for the freshness. And yes, we need to add that information on our website. So it's more of a guide that how the things have changed from 23 to 24 to 25 to 26 on your brand or this product. That freshness is important for AI. And frequently you update your content on your website, AI would love to crawl that, or any bots would love to crawl that. Google usually have that interval. Okay, on every website Google would either crawl once in few hours or once in few days, depending on the freshness of the content. And that the same algorithm is being followed by AI bots for freshness. So if your website is updating content almost every other day, the frequency of bots would be much higher on your website. So that would give you much better opportunity to rank higher on different prompts. Right. So these are a few authority signals which I was talking about. So a third party reviews, press mentions are important, external citations, absolutely, yes. So anyone other than your website is talking about you is important for AI bots to have your authority checked or tested or validated, right? So now we are done with page title, description, content side, authority, freshness of the content, all set, right? Now, what about your content versus the competition? Okay. After fixing all these things, go to Perplexity or any of the platforms and check your product. Just type the query, what you think users should be searching on or asking these questions, right? And look at the cited sources, whether do have they in these sections on their websites, FAQ and other stuff, and how are they responding, right? So if your page has you know lot bigger content, ensure that you are answering the problem or the question in the first part itself. Primarily, we say in the first two sentences. So yeah, that's another part of how you should write the content for AI. Talking a bit more about freshness, last updated date, that's important. Any reviews happening on your blogs or the products, that's important. AI takes all these signals of freshness, right? So if you are changing price or availability, hey, yesterday the price was 9.99, today is, let's say, 7.89 or something like that. So the price has changed. Now bots know that you are frequently changing the prices, and all these things plays an important role. All right. Now we need to test whether all the things, whatever we have done, have really resulted in, the better visibility for us or not. So to validate that, we need to really see the proofs. So now here, we do have some case studies published for you because we have been testing all these things, which whatever I've told you in last few slides, in last 30-35 minutes. Whatever we have done, we have tested on a few brands in different categories in e-commerce, and we have found some results. So now this is a pretty standard, I think, a common business. We can say that apparel and accessories being sold online, yes, highly competitive category. And that's where we have tried whatever tips and tricks I've told you, and even way more than that, and we have seen the results in last 6 months. Whatever we've experimented on that brand, we have seen a great growth on AI visibility. Search volume has also grown, and the revenue, which is the end result for every business. We don't need visibility on AI if there is no business. So yes, there was a 22% business growth year over year for that business, despite of they saw a drop in their search engine visibility. When I say search engine visibility, their impressions were high, but their clicks were down. So their clicks were down, less people were coming on the site, so their revenue was kind of shaky a few months ago. But after all these changes, we have started seeing steady growth onto their brand, and overall year over year they ended up 22% more revenue on this. So what we did for that, we rewrote we rewrote 150 pdps. So when I was talking about the product pages, you pick top 5 or 10 products for you. So for this particular brand, we picked top 150 product pages, and we rewrote them based on the language we wanted AI to read. And then we updated all the schema tags and everything, which were kind of good to have an earlier SEO thing, but now it is critical. So if you have it, yes. So we updated them over there, added buying guide, freshness of content. We ensured all those things, and the results are there in front of us. And since we do have the results, that's why we came to you and just presenting you all the data. Now, there was another category in the outdoor gear space where, again, they wanted to focus on certain type of products. And we had to do a similar thing over there, but then their product was more like a comparison thing. Okay, whether I should buy this product or that product. So that's where we worked on the comparison pages, ensure that we give the right information or more and more information to AI, so that AI have that information from us as a first source, and then supported by the third party websites, which is either blogs or press information and all that stuff. So all that resulted pretty well in terms of their citations have grown. So once you have citations in the prompt, you would get traffic from that AI. If you have only mentions in the prompt, you may not get direct traffic. You may not get the traffic routed to you from AI because there is no link mentioned in that, right? So that's the primary difference. We need citations so that we can get the traffic. and that traffic should result into conversions. So once your brand is visible over there, it has, because it has authority, and AI engines are giving you a good visibility in that prompt as a response. The major shift you would see here is the conversion rate growth. Revenue, number of transactions will be byproduct of it, of course. So even if your traffic does not grow much, let's say your traffic has grown by 10%, but your revenue has grown by 22%, which means either your product's average order value has grown, or your overall number of products or conversions have increased on your site. And this is what we have recorded for this particular product. When we added the comparison pages, we have seen their conversion rate have improved a lot. Even with very less improvement in traffic because of different challenges, the conversion rate improved. So that's a good win for us. End result is higher revenue. We met that goal. All right. So now we do have all these case studies done. Um, Quick wins you can do this week. This week, I think this is a task you all can take probably for your own respective websites, maybe for your teams. Um, so what we need to do is shortlist the 10 pages for schema, update that, add FAQ schema on at least a few pages out of it, write, rewrite titles the way I explained. We should do that. And then start and then give it some time, because it would not be immediate that, okay, you've made the changes today, you would expect something in next 2 days. No, it would not happen that way. You need to give it some time, because it purely depends on bots frequency, crawl frequency on your website. So if you've made some changes today, bot might be coming to your website day after tomorrow. Then only it would read the freshness or the new content. It will come back again maybe after 2 or 3 days. So it takes at least a week or 10 days time to show you some results appearing over there. All right. So roadmap, don't try with all the products in one go, I would say. So we have uh, drafted this roadmap for you in different phases. Give time to each of these activities, and then let it rank on its own. Give some time to bots, read all the data, information, content, validate it, and then it would start delivering the numbers for you. So no rush on that. Um, so limited products, first 2 to 3 days. Objective is map your AI visibility gaps first, wherever the questions your consumers should ask or should be asking. You can search those questions on ChatGPT or AI bot. Here I want to share my learning. One of the learnings I have is, if you are in a business of selling a particular product, you know your product pretty well, and you would be thinking, okay, why people are not buying my product? It has every quality, but at the same time you're not I'm sorry. So at the same time, you're not thinking what consumers are thinking. Okay, you are selling a coffee machine. They are not buying a coffee machine only. They're buying a coffee machine maybe for a particular taste or time, or maybe for gifting purpose, or depending on how many coffees, whether it's commercial or residential use. So all those things you need to consider before you start searching about your category or the query on ChatGPT or different AI platforms, and then start drafting content based on those researches. Um, so here we are. I mean, we are an agency, so we are using multiple tools, which gives us all the information that, okay, how many queries are being searched, how many times, and how many mentions we have got, and all that stuff. We are just tracking it with different tools. But for your brand, this is your exercise. If it's a small brand, of course, you can spend time on this and record all that information. But if you're a big brand, maybe you can give a task to your different team member who can run this show, or we are there as an agency. We can also help you with doing all those things if you don't have time. And of course, I completely accept that brands, you being brand owners or owners of the companies or websites, you know your business well, but there are certain things which you need help with. So that's why we are here. Then there would be foundation fixes. This is the second part of it, which would take 2 to 3 weeks. And here you need to start implementing technical changes so that AI readability can be improved on your website. On the priority pages, do not take all the pages. So just test it with with a few, and then see the response. And this is what we need to follow for almost, I would say, every step or in every phase. It's a limited test for you. I would say it should not take more than a month, because more than a month and a half, because in 3 to 4 weeks you would start expanding your content based on all the learnings. And once you do that, you would really scale up and measure. So here the things are done. Now, fifth week onwards, you would start measuring it, whether I'm really getting higher traffic or my conversions have improved. So two major metrics you can look at. If you're not looking at any other or using any other tool to measure. So that is actually an important metric, whether your conversions are improving or revenue is improving. If nothing is happening, that means we need to probably review our pages, whatever we picked, whether they have got the higher visibility or not. For that, you can try on Search Console. At this point in time, Search Console is not showing the AI visibility data for all the different AI platforms. But in 3 to 4 months, we are expecting Search Consoles to start giving us data, at least from Google Gemini, for sure. And once that is there, of course, that's a major visibility, because most of the users are now using all these uh, or asking these questions to Gemini primarily. Another thing which I can probably add it here, and that would be good for long term, is now people are not typing their queries. What we have seen is approximately 30 to 40% people who have downloaded ChatGPT or Gemini app on their phones, they are talking to it. So if they're talking to it, now here the scenario changes a bit. We can say that, hey, our product is best. We can write our product description, title, and everything the way we want AI to read it. But then at the same time, we need to think from consumer psychology. When they are asking a question to someone, it's like they're talking to a friend. And when they're talking to a friend, they sometimes use casual language. So those kind of things can be included in your content. I would say not always, but for some brands, yes, why not? For example, t-shirts. If I want recommendation from my friend, definitely I would have a different tone over there. And for t-shirts, if we can say something, yes, why not use those kind of information points? I would say not really the language, but yes, it's information point. Do not use the real friendly language. Please refrain using that kind of language, because that's a strict no-no. Most of the AI bots and all, they do not really prefer that. So once we see all the success story here, the measures and everything, um, another thing which you can try is, I don't know how many of you are using Shopify as your website app. So there are a couple of things which have changed in the recent days. So Google has launched a partnership with Shopify, and a new protocol has been launched called Universal Commerce Protocol. So you can log into your Shopify platform and see whether you are invited to that. If you are, enable that. So all your Shopify products would automatically go to AI for Gemini at least. And then users may not land your website. So what Gemini is trying to sell the products directly on AI platform itself. So it may not give you the traffic, it will directly give you the sale. So those kind of things you can try. You can try, if you're not on Shopify, and you want to try a visibility on ChatGPT of your products, then there is another protocol called ACP, which is Agentic Commerce Protocol. So that's between ChatGPT and Stripe as a payment gateway. So you can try that also. So all those things are definitely um, for future once you start seeing the results, and this is where we are heading towards, right? Coming back to the topic, tracking routine, because we need to measure it on a regular basis. So yes, please spend at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes on a weekly basis. Review the products. If you don't have too many products, you don't need to spend too much time though. But yes, at least review them. What's happening? Is Are there anything new people are searching? Maybe talk to a friend who is probably not using your product and ask them the question, if they want to buy this kind of product, what could be the questions coming to their mind? So all those questions you can keep experimenting almost every week, try with different content. On monthly basis, review your data, how many referrals you're getting, how many clicks you're getting, or conversion rate improvements and all that stuff. And once the results are positive, then start scaling up. Start replicating the whole exercise for next set of 50, 20, or whatever, 200 products, and then keep repeating. So write, win, repeat. That's the kind of strategy here in your tracking routine. All right. So there are a few takeaways. We've already discussed them. Hope you have, if you were taking notes, you might have taken notes of the important things for your business. Considering that, you might have drafted a couple of, new product titles also for you. But yes, start with 10 pages. I would not say start slow. Of course, 10 pages is good enough. Start with 10 pages, see the result, and replicate. Okay. Now the window is open. I don't know if anyone had any questions, but if you have any questions, please let me know. You can post them in the chat. Okay. I think one question I got is related to the conversion rate improvements. It depends on the category of your business. So for high bill value items, high average order value items, the conversion rate impact might be way lower. But then your overall revenue growth would be much higher. But yes, for small ticket items, let's say $10, $20, $50, the conversion rate would be much, much better, right? And yes, I think you would be getting the recording of this. So that's not a concern. You don't need the slideshow. Maybe you would get the recording of this. I will talk to my team. And also, we do have, if any one of you need our help, here is the QR code. You can scan it. If you're viewing this on your desktop, you can scan it with mobile, go to a landing page, send us a request. Either me or any of my team members will run an audit for your website. We'll give you the complete detailed plan. Okay, this is missing, these are the gaps, these are the fixes, and this is what we can do for you. So that's where we are. And I can also post a link if you cannot scan it. If you're on mobile, I can post a link here in the chat, and you can probably go to that link directly and post your request. So this would be mostly a presentation from my side, from my team, who would run an audit on your website. It would be a free audit, so you don't have to pay for that. So all we do is we spend time on this. We'll tell you the exact technical issues, gaps, and everything, and we'll come up with the solutions, and we'll present you all that in 30 to 45 minutes call. And based on that, you can take a call how you want to move forward. So I have posted the audit link in the chat, and also here is the scan code. And I think we are very close to our time now. If there are no questions, I think we can conclude. Thank you very much for this wonderful audience. And even if you have any questions later, I have posted my link here and hope you have already scanned the QR code. You can just post your questions on our website as well. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your time.